This entitled mum is about to steal something incredibly precious to this innocent person. But it's not something simple like a gaming console, no. She's about to steal someone's service dog. Happy birthday if today's your birthday, and on with the revamped show. Hey Voicey, I'm a huge fan of your work. I have a bunch of stories on entitled people, but this happened just the other day, and I cannot keep these stories to myself anymore. I think this has a touch of malicious compliance, but you tell me. Anyways, for a bit of backstory here, every year on the 4th of July, my town puts on a fantastic fireworks show that lasts from 20 to 30 minutes. It's amazing to watch, and over the summers, the memories that come with it have just been some of the best I could recall. Every year, my mum and a family friend go and put down blankets or tarps super early in the morning, or even the day before, to reserve spots to sit at, so we can have a good view of the fireworks. People do this as a courtesy anyways, since there is a fair nearby, and sometimes people from there will walk over to get a better view of the fireworks. So it's generally respected that if someone's tarp is down, that is their spot. Last year, a lot of families, including my mum and our friend, did the same thing. But the day of the fireworks, someone came by and tore up all the tarps, and threw them in the trash. This naturally ticked my family and our friends off, so this year, we were especially careful. We had someone drive out every 2 hours to check on the tarps, wrote our names on them, and even put stakes in the ground that prevented them from being blown away, and would show the authorities that someone had to have deliberately moved them if something happened. Luckily nothing did. We enjoyed a barbecue and party with our friends and family, and left to go set up on the tarps. Our group was fairly large. Me, my parents, my friend, her sister, her parents, 3 more friends and their parents, and my friend's sister's 2 young boys. They are all very well behaved, and generally listen to us if we tell them not to do something. Now we are settling down, and my friend's sister, the 2 boys, and another person leave to go use the bathroom before the show starts. Their half of the tarp is basically uncovered, but it has our blanket on it, so that the boys have something soft to sit on. I volunteer to sit on the blanket there to keep it from blowing away, and to watch the boys' glow sticks that they were playing with. I am sitting there, on the empty half of the tarp, when a woman, her husband, and 2 children walk up, looking around. I think nothing of it. They could have been looking for their family, friends, or trying to find what was left of the empty spots in the area. Here is the cast. Me, entitled mum, tired dad, entitled boy, my mum, friend's mum, and my dad.
Here should be a great spot. We are basically in the front. Excuse me?
My mum looking up. Hi there, can I help you?
Move, we need to see the fireworks.
Sorry, but we reserved this spot for the night. You can sit right next to us or behind us. We don't have chairs, so you can still see the fireworks. Sorry though. Like I said, we were really protective after last year. Besides, if she had asked nicely, I would have moved with the blanket and stuff anyways. But since she didn't, nope.
No, you have all that empty space and aren't using it. You rude girl. Move.
And without waiting for me to do so, marches past me to the back of the tarp and starts setting her chair up on top of our tarp and blanket. I was a bit nervous. I glance over to my parents and my mum is frowning. She gestures me over and I grab the blanket and the boys' glow sticks and scoot over, when suddenly the older of the 2 children wails.
I want those.
I told you no. You hit your sister earlier, so no glow sticks for you. He gives me this look like he was saying sorry, but helped his wife set up on the grass next to our tarp. EM to my friend's mum.
Where did you get those?
My friend's mum ignores her since we do not know these people. Things are quiet for a bit and I just ignore it. My dad is quiet, and my mum and my friend's mum are muttering about it for a bit, but then go back to what they were doing. I suddenly hear,
"This tarp is so itchy on my feet. Where's that blanket we saw earlier?"
She is looking around and sees that I have folded the blanket in half and have it set at the front of our area for the boys to see the fireworks. She gets up and tries to grab it, but my mum sees this and snatches it back. Excuse me, but this is our blanket and we are saving it for the children that are with us. You may not have it.
But my feet are getting itchy.
You were not invited onto my tarp in the first place. If you want to complain about your feet, you can go and sit somewhere else. There is still time before the fireworks go off.
How dare you! Just because we didn't put down tarps like this doesn't mean that my children should be deprived of the show. How rude.
What the hecking heckaroo? Tired dad starting to sound annoyed. EM, stop it. You are causing a scene. EM goes back to her chair but continues to grumble about the tarp and her itching feet. My friend's sister returns with the boys and I show them their new spot and give them back their glow sticks. They begin to run around the area, not too loud or anything, but they are tapping people on their heads and granting their wishes, like they are ones. So it's sweet, and I smile and go along with it. They approach me, giggling, and suddenly, as he goes to poke me, a hand enters my view, and it's EB trying to grab the glow stick. I push on his wrist, only to get it away from the boys and turn to him.
Hey!
Me sternly as I work with kids for a living. That isn't yours. You can't just take what someone has. That is mean.
But I want it! I don't have one!
I heard your daddy say no, so you need to respect that. If you want one, you have to ask your parents again.
But I want one now!
Me sternly again. I said no, and that means no. EM suddenly shrieking.
Just give it to him! He wants one! It's a holiday! Be neighborly!
Me suddenly angry. No way! It's not his and you cannot talk to me like that. It's because of behavior from people like you that kids think that they can do whatever they want. Side note, it's hard to not swear when kids are around and a Karen is ticking you off.
Oh, shut up. Not only is it hard to get a spot here anymore, but this Tarp is itchy. You guys steal the blanket and now you won't share with my kid? What kind of people are you? This is a holiday and you're supposed to be more friendly than this. Not everyone can have the leisure of spreading out the top. It's too big for your grip anyways.
That has nothing to do with your son trying to steal toys from another kid. TD comes over and takes the kid back, telling him angrily that if he tries it again, he will lose his Switch for the rest of the month. EM snaps at him to not take our side. At this point, we are all done with this woman. My mum seems to make to get up to yell at her, but suddenly my dad stops her, putting his hand on her shoulder. He looks calm. He turns to the lady. You're right, ma'am. This is a holiday about being neighborly as well as patriotic. You said that the tarp was itchy? I can take care of that for you. No problem. The EM looks satisfied and nods sharply, smirking to my dad.
Finally someone with some sense. Yes, please. Help with this horribly itchy tarp.
My dad gets up and goes over, taking out the stakes that are keeping the tarp in the ground. The EM is demanding to know what he is doing, but he doesn't answer. Now, my dad, a strong man and not a confrontational person, so even I am confused until I realize what he is doing. Remember how EM is settled on top of our tarp? My dad grabs the side of the tarp and the friend's dad goes to the other side, having caught on easily. Before she can comprehend what they are doing, the two dads yank and pull the EM's chair right out from under her. She topples onto the grass, and my dad and my friend's dad put the stakes back into the ground, folding the tarp so they have enough of a strip of grass for their family. I burst out laughing, as do the rest of our party, my dad there with a smile on his face. EM is shrieking at us the entire time.
What the heck? Why would you do that? You are such a jerk. I am calling the police. I'm going to sue if I'm injured. TD, tell them.
TD stands and starts gathering their chairs, apologizing for making a scene. He even says to my dad and my friend's dad that he knew they meant no harm, and that it would be no issue to move since they still had a few minutes before the fireworks. He apologizes again for bothering us, telling his kids to get up. EM does not like this one bit.
Are you crazy? The kids can't see back there. We deserve a front row spot. We don't have a tarp and…
TD cuts her off, looking furious. He speaks terrifyingly calmly. We have been here for all of 30 minutes and you caused an embarrassing scene. We only came for the fireworks. You were the one that promised this to the kids. You were the one that didn't wake up this morning to put down tarps that we have at home. And you were the one that said you would. Now you're the one ruining this day for these people and their kids. Now shut up and come with me so we can set up in a free space over there. I was so in awe of that poor dad and glad that he stood up for himself. Tired dad apologizes to us profusely, gathering up his kids and his wife. They leave, EM shocked into silence. I suppose that we enjoyed the fireworks on our reserved spot. The boys asked us about the rude lady and why she was so upset, but their mum told them that she was just having a bad day and not taking it well. No need to spoil them with the knowledge of entitled parents just yet. And that's truly the greatest gift you could give any child. Hide the knowledge of entitled parents from them till they're at least at the age where they can throw their first stock image shuriken. This happened last night. I frequent an outdoor archery range at a large state park. The range doesn't have an on-duty safety officer, as there's only 5 lanes, which is fine as 99% of people that shoot are extremely professional and polite. This is actually my first negative experience in about 2 years. So I have the range to myself, and as I'm drawing an arrow, some random kid comes out of freaking nowhere and runs into the range right in front of me. I retract the bow and turn around and see a mum and another kid casually walking up to the tables behind the lane. One of her sons has one of those kids' compound bows, and the other has one that appears to be a wooden toy recurve. Both are between the ages of 7 to 12-ish. The exchange went like this. "Hey ma'am, I'm going to need you to control your kids if they're out here. They can't be running onto the range when someone's shooting." "Oh, it's fine, it's just you out here. Just don't shoot if they're out there. They won't be shooting next to you anyway." "No, if I'm shooting, they can wait for me to finish my set before they go out there. That's how this works." "Don't tell me how to mother my kids. This is their free day and they begged to come out here." At this point I just said screw it in my head and decided to be patient. I was the only other one there, had already been shooting for an hour, and just wasn't in the mood to get into it with someone. So I continue and keep glancing over to the older son, whose little noodle arms can't handle the extreme about 20-pound draw of his bow. The kid is flagging everything as he struggles to draw a compound bow with his fingers. I figured I'd attempt to help him out. "Hey man, I have an extra release in my bag. It'll definitely help you if you want to draw that easier." "What did you just say? Don't tell my kids what to do." Hey, he's obviously struggling. I don't want to get shot either, and he's come pretty close to that too. "If you attempt to talk to my sons again, I'm calling park police." I should have just left, but I love archery too much, and it was a beautiful day. So the kid gives up. I stop paying attention to them and continue my business. About 5 minutes later, I'm about to set my bow down when something flies past my freaking face maybe 5 feet away. I turn around and see that this lady's kids are running around behind the range shooting the bows at each other. "Ma'am, not only did your kids almost shoot me, but if a ranger drives by and sees that, you're going to face a pretty hefty fine." "They're just toys, it's fine." "No, it's not fine. The cops aren't going to see them with toys, they're going to see 2 kids shooting at each other with bows. You're lucky I'm patient." "I'm done with you. I'm calling the police. Have fun rotting in jail when I tell them that you threatened us." "Excuse me? You know what? Fine, I'll wait here." Long story short, the park officer that showed up was actually a regular at the archery range. He recognized me, thankfully, took a statement from both of us, and ultimately banned the woman from the range. She also didn't have a permit to be there in the first place, so she got fined as well. I mean, who needs a permit to be there when you're an entitled parent and you can just use your child as your license for everything you want in life, right? These are the sort of families that end up in the emergency department, and you just hear these stories and you're like, how did a family get in this situation? Negligence and a lack of concern for safety. That's how. Before I dive in, I would like to inform you that SDIT is a service dog in training in my state. SDITs have the same rights as service dogs. For those of you who don't know, I have a corgi as an SDIT. She is small but weighs enough to do her tasks. Another one of her tasks is to alert me if someone is behind me by bumping her nose against my leg. Okay, now that we're all caught up, let me introduce you to my EP story. I'm in college in the Midwest in the USA, and this happened last year, so apologies because some details might be a bit fuzzy. I was taking my service dog to class with me when I paused at a water fountain to refill up her water bottle. My dog was sitting a little behind me, and I was also holding her leash. She had a vest on that warned people not to talk, distract, etc. I felt a tugging on her leash and assumed that she was alerting to me, and for some reason didn't bump her leg against me. I turned around and a woman had picked up my dog and was attempting to walk away with her. Pardon me, that's my dog.
"I saw this poor dear sitting here all alone and I assumed she didn't have an owner."
Internally, what the heck, lady? She's attached to a leash and I'm holding her leash. Not to mention that she has a vest on. If you could put her down, that would be great.
"Dogs aren't supposed to work. You are torturing that poor puppy. I'm saving her."
Now panic has begun to set in, and my service dog is squirming in the lady's arms to get to me. Ma'am, that's a service dog. She's my service dog.
Lies! Little dogs can't be service dogs!
But she is though, and the EP just interrupted me and was yelling and screaming at me, drawing attention of others. One of my disabilities is randomly fainting, so I ended up passing out. My friend who was drawn to the commotion managed to save my dog, and the lady ran away when she found out that A, she actually was a service dog, and B, she just caused me to have a medical episode. I woke up in another room. My friend, who is a guy, super strong, in ROTC, had carried me into an empty classroom because he knows I hate being the center of attention. My dog was licking my face to wake me up and laying on my chest applying DPT. She waited until I gave her the all clear command to get off. Dogs are basically like the opposite of an entitled parent. They're loyal and there for you, and they care a lot more about what they can give you than what you're gonna give them. If dogs are man's best friend, then entitled parents are man's worst enemy. Submit your story to be read on the channel at VoiceyHereStories@gmail.com and join our Voicey veteran community at r/VoiceyHere. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. Alright, Voicey veterans, I'll see you in the next one.